You're not born as a Pikachu. That's the first cruel joke. You're born as something even smaller, even weaker, even more pathetic. You crack out of your egg as a Pichu, a baby version of the Pokémon everyone loves, except nobody loves Pichu. They love what Pichu becomes. They love the potential. You, in your current form, are just a rough draft that nature hasn't finished editing yet. The first thing you feel is pain. Not emotional pain, though that's coming. Physical pain. Your cheek pouches are already generating electricity, pumping voltage through your tiny body before you've even figured out how to walk. The problem is that your body isn't developed enough to handle the current. Every spark you produce travels through your own nervous system first, shocking you from the inside. You twitch involuntarily, muscles spasming as electricity arcs between your ears. You try to cry out, but the sound comes out garbled because your jaw muscles are contracting from the voltage. Welcome to existence. You're an electric type now, and your own power is trying to kill you. Around you, other Pichu are hatching from their eggs. Some of them are already unconscious, knocked out by their own electrical discharge before they took their first breath. One of them isn't moving at all, a tiny yellow body lying still in its broken shell, fried by a surge it couldn't control. You watch it for a long time, waiting for it to get up, not understanding that getting up isn't an option anymore. That's your first lesson about being an electric type. The power that makes you special is the same power that can end you. Your mother approaches. She's a Pikachu, yellow and healthy, and radiating the kind of confident energy that comes from surviving long enough to reproduce. She looks at you with something that might be affection or might be assessment. It's hard to tell with Pokemon. She touches her nose to yours and a small spark passes between you, a greeting in the language of your species. The spark hurts. Of course it hurts. Everything hurts when you're a Pichu. She leads you away from the nesting area toward a patch of forest where other Pikachu families are gathered. You try to follow, but your legs don't work properly. The electricity keeps misfiring, making your muscles spasm at random intervals. You fall down 11 times in the first 100 meters. Your mother waits patiently each time, watching you struggle, not helping. This isn't cruelty. This is training. If you can't figure out how to control your own body, you won't survive the week. Skip forward 2 weeks. You've learned to walk without shocking yourself unconscious, which puts you in the top tier of Pichu achievement. You've also learned that your species has a reputation. Pikachu are famous. Pikachu are beloved. Pikachu are the mascot of everything Pokemon related, plastered on merchandise and television shows, and the dreams of children worldwide. Everyone wants a Pikachu. Everyone thinks Pikachu are the perfect Pokemon, cute and powerful and loyal. Nobody tells them about the Pichu stage. Nobody shows them the babies shocking themselves to death, the constant pain of uncontrolled electricity, the months of suffering required before evolution stabilizes your voltage output. The marketing department edited that part out. You're the director's cut that audiences never see. The other Pichu in your group are struggling too. You formed a loose friendship with 3 of them, bonding over shared trauma, the way soldiers bond in trenches. One of them, a female with a notched ear from a birth defect, figured out how to discharge safely by touching trees. The electricity grounds through the bark instead of cycling back through her body. She teaches you the trick. It helps, not much, but some. A Fire attacks the group on day 15. It swoops down from the canopy, targeting the smallest Pichu, the ones who haven't figured out movement yet. You watch it grab 2 of your siblings and carry them screaming into the sky. Your instinct says to fight back, to discharge everything you have at the predator. But you know what will happen if you try. The electricity will hurt you more than it hurts the Pharaoh. You'll knock yourself out and become an even easier target. So you run. You hide under a root and press your body against the dirt and listen to the sounds of your family being hunted. The Pharaoh makes 3 more passes before it's satisfied. When you finally crawl out, 4 Pichu are missing and 2 more are injured, their tiny bodies sparking weakly as they try to recover from defensive discharges that backfired. This is life as a Pichu. You're a battery that hasn't finished charging, dangerous to yourself and useless against everything else. Skip forward 2 months. You've grown. The electricity still hurts, but you've learned to manage it, discharging regularly against rocks and trees, to prevent buildup. Your cheek pouches have developed enough to store power without constant leakage. You can actually fight now, sort of. Your thunder shock is weak but functional. Your quick attack is quick but not particularly attacking. You're not strong, but you're not helpless anymore either. The evolution pressure starts around this time. You feel it as a warmth in your core, a sense that your body is ready to become something more. All you need is a trigger, a moment of intense emotion or bonding or battle experience that pushes you over the threshold. Other Pichu in your group have already evolved. They're Pikachu now, running faster, hitting harder, finally in control of the electricity that tortured them as babies. You want that. Of course you want that. Who wouldn't want to stop being weak? Who wouldn't want to upgrade from the beta version to the full release? The trigger comes during a thunderstorm. You're huddled with your mother under a large tree, watching lightning crack across the sky. Each bolt sends a surge through your body, charging your pouches beyond their normal capacity. It feels good. For the first time in your life, electricity feels good instead of painful. You run out into the rain, absorbing the storm's energy, letting it fill every cell of your being until you're glowing. The light starts in your chest and spreads outward. Your body stretches, your tail lengthens. Your ears grow into the distinctive points that humans find so adorable. The evolution takes 30 seconds, and when it's over, you're not a Pichu anymore. You're a Pikachu, the world's most recognizable Pokémon. The face of a billion-dollar franchise. The creature that every trainer wants and every child dreams about. Congratulations, your problems are just beginning. Skip forward 1 week into your new body. Being a Pikachu is better than being a Pichu in almost every way. The electricity doesn't hurt anymore. Your control is precise enough to modulate your output from a gentle, static tingle to a 100,000-volt thunderbolt. You're faster, stronger, more agile. You can actually defend yourself against predators instead of hiding and hoping. But something else has changed too. Something you didn't expect. Humans have started noticing you. As a Pichu, you were invisible. Too small, too weak, too much trouble to catch and train. Trainers walked right past you, searching for Pokémon that were worth their Pokéballs. But as a Pikachu, you're a prize. You're the Pokémon that every beginning trainer wants. You're the Pokémon that makes other trainers jealous. You're the Pokémon that parents promise their children if they behave.
Pikachu!
The first trainer who tries to catch you is a kid, maybe 10 years old, with a Pokéball he probably got for his birthday. He throws it at you from 20 meters away. You dodge easily, the ball sailing past your ear, but the intent is clear. He wants to own you. He wants to put you in a tiny sphere and carry you around like an accessory and force you to fight other Pokémon for his entertainment. You run. He chases. He's slow and clumsy and gives up after 100 meters. But you keep running anyway, putting distance between yourself and the first human who looked at you and saw property. This happens again the next day, and the day after that, and every day for the next month. Trainers come to this forest specifically because they heard Pikachu live here. They bring nets and traps and Pokémon trained to weaken you for capture. They work in groups, coordinating their efforts, treating the hunt like a game. Because to them, it is a game. You're not a living creature with thoughts and feelings and a right to exist freely. You're a collectible. You're content. You're the thing they need to complete their Pokédex and brag to their friends about. You learn to avoid the paths that trainers use. You learn to recognize the sound of human footsteps and the smell of processed Pokémon food used as bait. You learn to sleep in shifts, always keeping one ear open for the distinctive click of a Pokéball being activated. Your entire existence becomes organized around not being caught. The other Pikachu in your colony have the same problem. Some of them have been caught, their spaces in the group now empty, their fates unknown. Are they happy with their trainers? Are they being treated well? Or are they stuck in PC boxes somewhere? Forgotten data entries in a system that treats them like inventory? You'll never know. Caught Pokémon don't come back. That's the rule. Skip forward 6 months. You've survived the catching season by being faster and smarter and more paranoid than the average Pikachu. You've also evolved a deep, burning resentment toward humans that surprises you with its intensity. Every time you see a trainer, your cheek pouches start sparking involuntarily. Every time you hear a Pokéball click, your heart rate spikes. You're not afraid of them anymore. You're angry at them. Angry at the entitlement, the assumption that your existence is for their benefit, the way they talk about catching you like it's their right instead of a violation. This anger attracts attention, not from trainers, from another Pikachu. He's older than you, scarred across the face from some battle you can't imagine, and he carries himself with the confidence of someone who's been fighting for a long time. He approaches you one evening while you're foraging for berries. He tells you about the Resistance, a group of Pikachu who refuse to be caught, who fight back against trainers instead of running, who've carved out a territory in the deepest part of the forest where humans rarely venture. He tells you that you have potential, that your anger is a weapon, that you could be part of something bigger than just survival. You join them. Of course you join them. What's the alternative? Spending the rest of your life running and hiding and waiting to be caught. At least with the Resistance, you can fight. At least you can make the trainers pay for every Pikachu they've taken. The Resistance has rules. Never attack first, but always attack back. Target the Pokeballs, not the trainers. Disable, don't kill. The goal isn't violence. The goal is making this forest so dangerous for trainers that they stop coming. The goal is freedom. Your first combat experience is against a trainer with a Bulbasaur. He spots you in a clearing and immediately reaches for his Pokeball. Before he can throw it, you hit him with a Thunder Wave, paralyzing his arm. The Pokeball drops from his numb fingers. His Bulbasaur tries to respond, but you're too fast, dodging Vine Whips and returning Thunder Shocks until the grass type faints. The trainer stares at you in shock. He's never seen a wild Pokemon fight like this. He's never been the prey instead of the predator. You lock eyes with him for a long moment, letting him feel what you felt. The helplessness, the fear, the understanding that something stronger wants to take your freedom. Then you let him go. He runs, leaving his Pokeballs behind, and doesn't look back. The Resistance cheers. You've proven yourself. You're one of them now. Skip forward 1 year. You're a veteran of 47 engagements with trainers. Your thunder techniques have evolved from desperate defense to precision strikes. You can target individual Pokeballs on a trainer's belt and fry their capture mechanisms without hurting the person carrying them. You freed a dozen Pikachu from attempted captures, dragging them back to the colony before their new trainers could claim them. But something's wrong. The trainers aren't stopping. If anything, they're coming in larger numbers, attracted by the challenge, treating the resistant Pikachu as a difficulty setting rather than a warning. Some of them bring cameras, recording their attempts for content, turning your fight for freedom into entertainment. And the captures continue. Not in the forest, where you've made things too dangerous, but at the edges, in the routes nearby. Young Pikachu who haven't joined the Resistance yet, picked off before they ever learned to fight back. The colony is shrinking, not from deaths, but from attrition. Every Pikachu that gets caught is a Pikachu that's gone forever. You start wondering if Resistance even matters. Every trainer you defeat is replaced by 2 more. Every territory you defend is pressure that pushes trainers toward easier targets. You're not stopping the system. You're just inconveniencing it. The scarred Pikachu who recruited you is caught during a raid by a professional trainer with a team of fully evolved Pokemon. You watch from the trees as he fights, as he discharges everything he has, as a Raiden tanks his electricity without flinching, and a Pokeball finally closes around his struggling body. The trainer looks pleased. He'll probably brag about catching a strong one to his friends. You don't sleep that night. You sit on a branch and stare at the stars and wonder what the point of any of this is. Freedom is exhausting. Fighting is exhausting. And the humans just keep coming, generation after generation, treating you like a game to be played. Skip forward to the day everything changes. A trainer enters the forest, young, maybe 11, with messy black hair and a determination in his eyes that's different from the usual greed. He doesn't throw Pokeballs at every Pokemon he sees. He doesn't set traps or use bait. He just walks through the forest, looking, like he's searching for something specific. He finds you on a branch above the path. You tense, cheek pouches sparking, ready to fight. But he doesn't reach for a Pokeball. He just looks at you, really looks, and says something that no trainer has ever said to you before. He says he doesn't want to catch you. He says he wants to ask you something. He says he's looking for a partner, not a pet. And if you're not interested, he'll leave you alone. You don't believe him. Why would you? Every trainer says what they need to say to get what they want. But something in his voice is different. Something in the way he stands there, vulnerable, not reaching for any weapon or tool, just waiting for your response. You drop down from the branch and approach him slowly. He doesn't move. You get close enough to smell him, close enough to shock him if he tries anything. He still doesn't move. You ask him, in the limited way Pokémon can communicate with humans, why he's different, why he's asking instead of taking, why he cares what you want. He tells you about his dream, about wanting to be the best, not through catching and controlling, but through partnership and trust. About believing that Pokémon and humans can be equals, not master and servant. About wanting a friend who chooses to be with him, not a captive who tolerates him. It's a nice speech. It might even be true. But you've been fighting for too long to surrender now. You shake your head and turn away, ready to disappear back into the forest. He lets you go. No Pokeball, no chase. Just a quiet acceptance of your choice. That's what breaks you. Not his words. The fact that he meant them. The fact that when you said no, he actually listened. You stop at the edge of the clearing. You turn back. You look at him, this strange human who treats Pokémon like people, and you feel something shift inside you. Not trust, not yet, but curiosity. The possibility that maybe, just maybe, not every human sees you as a trophy. You walk back toward him. He smiles. And for the first time since you evolved, you choose to stay with a human instead of running away. Skip forward 3 years. You've been with him through 8 gym badges, 2 regional championships, and more battles than you can count. You've evolved the partnership that he promised, fighting alongside him instead of for him, making decisions together instead of following orders. He's never put you in a Pokeball unless you wanted to rest. He's never forced you to battle when you didn't feel like it. He's treated you consistently like an equal. But equality has costs. You've seen things that wild Pikachu never see. The underground fighting rings where trainers force Pokémon to battle until they faint or worse. The breeding facilities where your species is mass-produced for sale, stripped of individuality, treated like inventory. The PC storage system, rows upon rows of forgotten Pokémon, digitized and filed away because their trainers found something better. You've also felt things that wild Pikachu never feel. The pressure of performance, the weight of your trainer's dreams resting on your electrical output. The exhaustion of constant battles, your body pushed to limits that evolution never intended. The guilt of defeating other Pokémon who didn't choose this life, who were caught and trained and thrown into combat because their trainers wanted glory. And underneath it all, the question that never goes away. Are you really free? You chose to stay with him. You can leave whenever you want. But 3 years of partnership have rewired your brain in ways you don't fully understand. His approval matters to you now. His disappointment hurts you now. You've become emotionally dependent on a human, and that dependency feels uncomfortably similar to capture. The Thunderstone sits in his bag. You've seen it. He's never mentioned it, never suggested that you should evolve into Raichu, but you know it's there. A constant reminder that you could be more powerful, more useful, more valuable to him. You don't want to evolve.
Who am I?
Raichu lose something when they change. The speed, the agility, the connection to their Pikachu identity. But every time you lose a battle, every time your electricity isn't enough, you wonder if you're being selfish. You wonder if refusing to evolve is letting him down. This is the trap that nobody talks about. The caught Pikachu in the PC boxes might be forgotten, but at least they don't have to perform. At least they don't carry the weight of someone else's expectations. You chose partnership and got pressure. You chose freedom and got obligation. There's no version of this where you just exist without something demanding more from you. Skip forward to the championship battle, the biggest fight of your trainer's career. You're facing another Pikachu, trained by his rival, equally determined to win. The crowd is massive, the cameras are rolling. Millions of people are watching 2 electric mice try to destroy each other for entertainment. The battle is brutal. Thunder meets thunder. Quick attack trades with quick attack. You're evenly matched. 2 Pikachu pushed to their limits by trainers who need them to be more than they are. Your cheek pouches are burning. Your muscles are screaming. You've discharged so much electricity that your body is starting to cramp. And in the middle of the chaos, You make eye contact with the other Pikachu. Just for a second. Just long enough to see the same exhaustion, the same pain, the same question in its eyes. Why are we doing this? Why are we hurting each other? What do we actually gain when one of us wins? The answer is nothing. You gain nothing. Your trainers gain glory. The audience gains entertainment. The Pokémon Company gains revenue from merchandise and broadcast rights. But you, the creatures actually taking the damage, you gain nothing except scars and fatigue and the privilege of doing it all again tomorrow. You win the battle. Of course you win. You're the protagonist Pokémon, the mascot of the franchise, the face that sells 1 billion products. Losing isn't in your programming. You stand victorious over the other Pikachu's unconscious body and listen to the crowd cheer and feel absolutely nothing. Your trainer runs onto the field and hugs you and tells you how proud he is. You let him hold you because that's what partners do. But inside, somewhere deep in the part of yourself that remembers what freedom felt like, something is dying. Skip forward to the end. You're old now. Electric types don't live as long as normal types, something about the voltage-degrading cellular structure over time. Your trainer is old too, retired from battling, living in a quiet house with a yard where you can sit in the sun and remember. You've had a good life, by Pikachu standards. You were never stuck in a PC box. You were never abandoned for a stronger Pokémon. You fought in championships and won and became famous in the way that successful Pikachu become famous, as an extension of your trainer's legacy, rather than as yourself. But sometimes, late at night, you dream about the forest, about the colony where you were born, about the resistance that you abandoned, about the wild Pikachu who are still out there, still fighting, still refusing to be caught. You wonder what happened to them. You wonder if they're still free or if the trainers finally won. You wonder if any of them remember you, the Pikachu who had potential, who fought back, who eventually chose captivity because a human said the right words at the right time. The Thunderstone is still in a drawer somewhere. Your trainer kept it all these years, just in case you ever changed your mind.
Does anyone remember?
You never did. You stayed Pikachu, clinging to your identity, even as everything else changed around you. Now you're too old to evolve. The energy required would probably kill you. The choice is gone and you can't decide if that's a relief or a regret. Your trainer sits next to you on the porch, scratching behind your ears the way you like. He's talking about the old days, about battles you fought together, about the bond you built over decades of partnership. He calls you his best friend. He says he couldn't have done any of it without you. You lean into his hand and close your eyes and let him believe that this was enough. That partnership was freedom. That choosing captivity made it something other than captivity. Maybe he's right. Maybe the love was real. Maybe you got something valuable from all those years of service. Or maybe you just got comfortable. Maybe the forest got too far away to remember clearly. Maybe the resistance failed because too many Pikachu made the same choice you did, trading freedom for affection, trading autonomy for security, trading wildness for a warm place on a trainer's lap. You'll never know. That's the cruelest part. You'll die without knowing whether you made the right choice, whether the partnership was worth the price, whether there was ever a version of your life where you could have had both freedom and belonging. The sun sets. Your trainer carries you inside. Tomorrow will be the same as today, peaceful and comfortable and vaguely hollow. You're the world's most famous Pokémon. You're loved by millions. You're the symbol of a franchise that's bigger than any individual creature. And you've never been sure, not once in your entire life, whether any of it was actually for you.